Hello and welcome to this segment of Campus 101 exam series Biology. Today we're going to be looking at thermodynamics and renewable and non-renewable energy. Let me tell you that these topics are so important in your exams. Like in the past 10 years, we've seen it recur in the exams about 6 times. Alright, so the question in thermodynamics is usually very simple and straightforward. Is usually to state the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics. Now, for the science student, this is especially important because the laws of thermodynamics will also come out in physics, and probably even chemistry. So you need to also be very, very aware and comfortable with the laws of thermodynamics. I will state the first one here, and then I will just say the first of there are 4 laws of thermodynamics. We have the first, the second, the third, and the zeroth law. I know it's funny, right? So we have the first law, the second law, the third law, and the zeroth law of thermodynamics, altogether 4. So what is the first law of thermodynamics? And this is very important in your exam. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It cannot be created nor destroyed, but can only be converted or changed from one form to another. Alright, so this is the first law of thermodynamics, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but energy can only be converted from one form to another. So, for example, in this video, the electrical energy you use in charging your phone or your computer is being converted to light energy, where you are perceiving from your screen, and sound energy, where you are hearing. But the energy is neither converted, is neither created nor destroyed. Energy can only be converted from one form to another, between mechanical energy, chemical energy, heat energy, electrical energy, but it cannot be created nor destroyed, but can only be converted from one form to another. It is important that you understand this because it's very fundamental to science. Now, the second law, so with that, we're done with the first law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics, and then the physics students will pay more attention here, states that in an isolated system, that means in a system where there is no external influence, in an isolated system, evolves towards equilibrium. An isolated system evolves towards equilibrium. You can also state it that the total work done in a system is always less than the heat supplied. Now, unfortunately, this is not so common in our exam, but it's also good to know it. So the first law said energy cannot be created nor destroyed. The second law is saying that an isolated system evolves towards equilibrium. The third law says that entropy approaches a constant value as the temperature approaches 0. This is quite easy to understand, and I know my science and chemistry students will understand this very well. So as the temperature approaches 0, entropy approaches a constant value. The zeroth law of thermodynamics precedes all this law. All the 3 laws are based on the fact of the zeroth law. The zeroth law says simply this: if 2 bodies, A, right, and B, so this is A and this is B, right? If 2 bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, C, it means that all 3 are in equilibrium with each other. You can say it this way: if you have 500 naira and you have 5 pieces of 100 naira notes, and this guy has 1 piece of 500 naira note, and then this guy has 10 pieces of 50 naira notes, all of us have 500 naira. It doesn't matter what denominations they are in. So it states that if 2 bodies are in thermal equilibrium with the third body C, all 3 are in equilibrium. So those are the laws of thermodynamics. Now, quickly, let us look at renewable and non-renewable energy. Now, before we look at renewable and non-renewable energy, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. What is energy? Pause the video and answer the question. Yes, I'm talking to you. What is energy? Exactly. If you said energy is the ability to do work, then you are right. Energy is the ability to do work. Now, what are the types of energy that we have? Now, broadly speaking, energy can be classified as either renewable or non-renewable. Renewable energy is that in which the source is unending. We cannot exhaust it, all right? Non-renewable energy, on the other side, we can actually exhaust it. And it is important that we are aware of this so that when we use it, since we need energy for everything we do practically, it's important for us to know which is renewable and which is not renewable, so we know how we can consume it. Now, the renewable sources of energy are: one, solar energy. All right. The next, solar energy, because the sun is not going anywhere. The sun is going to still stay there for 5-10 billion years before it's, before, if at all, it's going to stop shining. It's going to be up there. So solar energy, wind energy is renewable. Hydro energy, so our rivers will keep flowing, so hydropower or hydro energy from water is renewable. Another important is geothermal energy, and then biofuel. So these are examples of renewable energy. Non-renewable energy, on the other hand, include things like coal. So coal, we have a fixed mass of coal. If we burn it all, it is done, and then we don't have coal anymore. So coal. Next, natural gas. Natural gas is non-renewable. When we burn it, it's gone. Next is crude oil. Crude oil is non-renewable. And then the last is nuclear. Now, let me say a quick word about nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is powerful. Alright, it is very powerful and abundant, but even though it is so powerful and abundant, it is important to know that it is non-renewable. Something tricky, so you don't get lost or confused. Natural gas and crude oil together are called fossil fuel. Alright, so they are called fossil fuel. So this summarizes thermodynamics as is important in your exam. We started by saying that the law of thermodynamics, there are 4 laws in thermodynamics. The first says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but can only be converted from one form to the other. For example, electrical energy to sound and light, like in your phone. And then we also stated the Zeroth law, or the 4th law of thermodynamics. You said if 2 bodies A and B are in thermal equilibrium with the third, all 3 are in equilibrium with each other. We went on to look at renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. We looked at solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biofuel as examples of renewable. We also looked at coal, fossil fuel, and nuclear energy as example of non-renewable energy. See you in the next video. Cheers!